How you doing, everyone? Welcome to this final episode of 2023 of the Cajun Conservative Show. No, it's not the final episode of all time. It is the final episode of 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. You should rejoice and you should be glad in it. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a good day, good week, wherever you're located. And look, remember, this show is talking about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I like to say, I always show the world that Cajuns do have intelligence. Sometimes I don't even act like I have intelligence on here, but hey, you know, it sounds good, I guess. I hope I'm smart if, I have some intelligence up here. Either that or do a lot of reading or I see a lot of things that go on and I just voice my opinion. But ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a good day. And like I said, this is the final episode of 2023. I will be out for the next 2 weeks. There will not be a show next Monday or the Monday after or the Thursday or next Thursday or the Thursday after that. Gonna take some time to rest, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this new year. I have a new logo that's gonna be coming out. We've been teasing this logo, and I can't wait for January to come out. January 8th should be the first episode that we come out, we're gonna have the new logo. And we're discussing. We're always discussing how we can improve the show. So we're gonna see what happens going forward with these 2 weeks. I say it's a break. We're going to be having meetings and we're going to be talking about some things. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited. Another year has come and gone. The Cajun Conservative just made, I believe, 4 years or a little under 4 years. It's 3 years. Brothers Just Searching is going into his 4th year. And I'm excited. I'm blessed. God has done some great and marvelous things here, ladies and gentlemen. And I cannot wait to see where God takes this show in the upcoming future. I'm excited. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored in the sight of the Lord. I'm learning faith this year. Just a little bit of recap before we get into our topic, which a lot of people got an idea by the title of this episode, what it's going to be about. But this year, God has shown me patience. God has shown me how to exercise in faith. You think you have faith until you start going through the trials and tribulations. Then you really figure out how much faith you have. And you figure out, hey, how strong am I in my faith? And this year, look, to be honest with you're my family. I could discuss a little bit about this with y'all. It's been rough. It's been rough. Now, look, the shows have grown this year. We had our 2023 Spotify Wrap come out, and both shows passed our expectations for this year. Brothers Just Searching and the Cajun Conservative. BGS Media was kicked off this year. We had a couple of jobs that helped us out with the studio. It was just, God has been blessing us. But at the same time, we've been going through some trials and tribulations. I started I can't say a new job because I worked there before, but I started another job and trying to get back on my feet with a few things. But guess what? The Lord's good. He has blessed us. Sometimes I still wonder, God, where are you at? I remember the other day I was praying and I felt the Spirit of God come upon me and said, look, you're in your Jacob moment. Now, a lot of people might not, what's the Jacob moment? Well, the Jacob moment was when he went ahead and wrestled with God. He went ahead and wrestled with God, and God took his hip out of joint. And he always walked around saying, look, I wrestle with God. And I think that's a lot of times we're wrestling with God because we want what he wants us to have, but it's not his timing. Or you're going through that trial and tribulations where, at the end of the battle, you're going to be blessed. And look, 2023 was good. I'm not going to lie. It was a good year. But also at the same time, I went through some trials and tribulations. But by faith, I'm standing on the word of God. And look, if you're not a religious person, I hope that encouraged you. Just to let you know, I'm not a religious person either because I have a relationship. I don't have a religion. All right, so let's start with and look, what a doozy. On this note too, before we do all that, I forgot to mention, if something major happens, I will make an episode. So I'm off, but I'm not off. Okay, if something major happens as we've seen this week, I'm going to go ahead and come back in the studio, find some time, make an episode, and give you my point of view. If nothing major happens, we will be back here in January 8th of 2024. All right, so let's start with the main topic of this past week. Ladies and gentlemen, I am just I had something else planned to start off the show, and it was all prepped and ready to go. And of course, Colorado had to pull a stunt. What am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? Well, let me give you some background a little bit. On January 6th of 2021, a day that Americans are going to remember for as long, anybody that was alive is going to remember for the rest of their lives, and it's going to live in history as the day that the Capitol was taken over by MAGA supporters. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't condone what happened on January 6th, but there's a lot of other things that happened on that day that the media is hiding, and there's a lot of stuff. But on the forefront of January 6th, President Donald Trump was there, and he made a few statements at this rally that turned into a riot. That's how I like to describe January 6th. And it wasn't everybody there. You know, the media likes to portray January 6th as that all them people that were spread out through the Capitol of the United States of America, they all went through the Capitol building, and they all were destructive, and they all were chaotic. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not true either. Our own guest host here, Barry Martin, attended January 6th, and he didn't even enter into the Capitol. Our good friend at Two Mics Live and Calderese Unleashed, Mike Calderese, I'm trying to say his name right. I know he's listening, so Mike, love you, my brother. But he was there, and it wasn't everybody rushing the Capitol. Also, a lot of people like to call January 6th an insurrection, but Joe Peg said it the best way on his TikTok feed. There was not a firearm in sight. In reality, the only one that got shot was a protester, and it was done by Capitol Police. So, ladies and gentlemen, this whole insurrection argument is vague. Was there a riot, and was there things that happened on that day that was not right? Absolutely. Was it an insurrection? No. I don't believe so. That is my personal opinion. Now, other people have other opinions. As I quoted on TikTok earlier in the day when I made a video, I think over 100 comments, and there was some people that did not agree with me. But because of January 6th, there have been arguments that Donald Trump should not be on any ballot this year. Why? Because of an amendment that was pushed after the Civil War. It was the 14th Amendment, Section 3. And it talks about people that were involved in as a insurrection that they could not run for public office. Now, hearing Dan Bongino elaborate on this amendment a little bit, it was talking about electorates to the president, not the president of the United States. That's an argument that is being pushed. It was the senators and congressmen. Nothing talking about the president of the United States. But this lawsuit came down, and we reported that Colorado was one of them that was trying to remove Donald Trump from being on their ballot that's coming up in March. And the people that sued the Trump organization or the Trump campaign to remove them off the ballot went into a lower court. And the judge of that court, I don't know if she was Democrat or Republican, but had some good sense. I'm leaning more that she was a Democrat or at least a leftist. And she made the comment saying, well, look, I believe he caused January 6th, but he ain't charged. And this amendment does not line up. Don't talk about the president of the United States. So I'm going to leave him on the ballot. Of course, this went to the appeals, and it went all the way up to the Colorado Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court of Colorado, in a 4-3 decision, decided that judge was wrong, and that Donald Trump, not on the facts that he caused the insurrection, his actions, his speech caused the insurrection, or he was thinking things like an insurrection. So that disqualifies him from running for president or being on the ballot in 2024 in Colorado. Also, they made the assumption that, you know, that this didn't mean the president. Oh, yes, it meant the president of the United States. Now Trump and his team have appealed this. It is going to the Supreme Court. And this is a funny thing about the Colorado Supreme Court. They have put their own self on stay, saying that this ruling is going to go in effect on January 4th. Give the Supreme Court time to study the issue at hand. Now, the Supreme Court has to pick this up real quick because, according to the Secretary of State of Colorado, they only have until January 5th to print the ballots and finalize the ballots so it's ready in March. So when voters go and vote. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this right off the jump. Colorado's a purple state, but it's more left-leaning than you know. Ladies and gentlemen, these judges did not make this decision based on facts and on the Constitution, or even their own state constitution. Why did they vote this into place? Because, ladies and gentlemen, the whole Supreme Court, I believe, is Democrat-led. These are 4 Democrat judges that took it upon themselves to not be judges at the time, but to be Democrat activists. Because every single Democrat believes, now I say every single Democrat, not all Democrats, but every single left-leaning communistic Democrat out there, let's rephrase that like that, believes that Donald Trump led an insurrection on January 6th. And without looking at any of the facts, without looking at anything, they said we took into every consideration. No, they didn't. These 4 left-leaning judges became activists and are trying to stop Donald Trump from going and run for president of the United States. Because, see, if this case succeeds, we already heard that California's Attorney General has reached out to the Secretary of State and told the Secretary of State to look at every legal option to keep Donald Trump off the ballot. We already know that other states have tried to take Donald Trump off the ballot and have failed at their Supreme Courts. At least their judges had enough common sense to say, we're not going to defy the Constitution of the United States. We're going to go ahead and honor it. Even we might disagree with it, we're going to honor it and uphold it. Not these 4 judges. These 4 judges took it upon themselves to become judge, jury, and executioner. They went ahead and said, listen, we're going to go ahead and remove Donald Trump. We're going to tell our Secretary of State, you got to remove him because he violated the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, this is wrong on so many levels. Why it is wrong? Well, if Donald Trump was a convicted insurrectionist, the judges would have been right that he caused the insurrection and that he was convicted as an insurrectionist. But, ladies and gentlemen, he has not. Now, I made a TikTok video where I said Jack Smith charged him and they were looking into it. And I found out later on today, after making my TikTok video, that wasn't true. Jack Smith, it didn't even charge Donald Trump with an insurrection. So there's no federal charges. There's no state charges. There's no indictment that Donald Trump caused the insurrection. But these judges think with his thoughts that Donald Trump was thinking insurrection. So now we can be convicted on just our thoughts and our opinions? Ladies and gentlemen, if that's the case, they have violated the First Amendment, the freedom of speech. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot judge somebody based on their thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot go ahead and charge somebody because they're thinking something. And then you have to ask the other question, did these judges all of a sudden are mind readers? They knew what Donald Trump was thinking up to January 6th? His actions, he didn't do nothing wrong. Donald Trump said one line, and it breaks every argument that the left has. He said, I know you're going to march up to the Capitol, where you're going to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. The judges are activists right now. They're trying to keep Donald Trump. Why they're trying to keep Donald Trump off the ballot? Because Joe Biden is losing. We're going to talk more about Joe Biden and the poll numbers in the next segment. But ladies and gentlemen, these judges exceeded their authority. Now, what's going to happen next? Well, it's going to go to the Supreme Court, where in reality, this should be a 9-0 favor for Donald Trump. It will not be. It will probably be a 6-3 decision, because even the moderate conservatives on there, they're going to go ahead and probably vote and say, no, Donald Trump has the right to be on there. If it switches, I'm going to be amazed. But I see Donald Trump winning that case at the Supreme Court. They already said they're going to appeal it. Now, I'm going to give props to a few people that after the news came out with this, Vic Ramaswamy said that he's going to take his name off the ballot if Donald Trump is not allowed to be on, and he recommended all his other opponents, the other candidates, to do the same thing. The Colorado GOP made the statement and said, look, if they don't want Donald Trump on the ballot, we're going to have a caucus where Donald Trump will be on the ballot, because you don't need ballots in caucuses. So the GOP is backing up Donald Trump on this issue. Donald Trump should be on that ballot. Wait, look, my last thoughts before we go into our first break for tonight. Why? Because the people are telling me, he's an insurrectionist. Look, first off, this case should never went up in front of any court. They should have got shot down right away. Why? Because Donald Trump is not a convicted insurrectionist. Again, as I said, Donald Trump is not even charged with insurrection out of the 91 felony counts he currently has. Donald Trump, one of those charges is not for insurrection. Ladies and gentlemen, the 14th Amendment was not written for insurrectionists. It was written for Confederate generals to not run for public office so they would turn this nation back into a civil war. That was the whole thing of this 14th Amendment, Section 3. Ladies and gentlemen, but for the judges to first come out and say, well, he's an insurrectionist, we feel with his speech, and we feel with his actions, and it don't matter what you feel, judge. You don't judge on your feelings. You judge based on the law and the facts. And the fact is that Donald Trump has never been indicted for insurrection, and he has not been convicted for insurrection. So why vote to remove Trump from the ballot? Because they don't want Donald Trump back in the White House. And Donald Trump is winning hands down in the Republican primary. Then you have the newest polls, which, like I said, we're going to talk about, where on an average, the average RCA poll, Real Clear Politics, RCA poll, RCP poll, correction, average show Donald Trump winning by 4 points. Ladies and gentlemen, look, the thing of it is, they can't impeach him this time. He's not president. So what are they trying to do? What are they trying to call him? Hitler? They're trying to call him a dictator. And now they're trying to label him as a insurrectionist to make the American people believe that he is an insurrectionist and that he needs to be stopped. And the only way to stop him is by this 14th Amendment. But if there's no facts, we still gotta convict him that he cannot be on a ballot. Because they're scared of Donald Trump. Because they know that if Donald Trump gets in there, Donald Trump ain't going to do what he did in 2016. Donald Trump's going to go ahead and clean house on day one. And the Democrats are scared of it. And that's why these 4 judges put it upon themselves to say, you know what, we're going to remove Donald Trump. Now, let's just pray and hope that the Supreme Court does their job and tell them they were wrong. Like they told that other judge and all the other judges across this country that had the situation like this. That when they said you cannot do this to Donald Trump. We will have to see what happens. But let's pray that the Supreme Court does their job. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take my first break. I'll be right back in a few moments, so please stay tuned. How you doing, everyone? Isaac Hayes here. I'm here to talk to you about Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. I've been part of the trucking industry for a few years now, and I know the importance of finding a company that won't just sell you a truck or a piece of equipment, but will take the time to know you and help you through the process and checking in on you after the sale. That's why we are proud to announce our partnership with Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. Smith Truck and Equipment Sales is a family-owned and operated pre-owned truck and trailer dealership in Lafayette, Louisiana, who have been serving Acadiana for over 40 years. They offer full service, parts and accessories, and financing. They also buy used trucks of all makes and models. You can visit Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5 at their location at 3010 Northeast Evangeline Thruway, or visit their website, SmithTruckSales.com. You can also give them a call at 337-234-0557 and let their friendly and experienced staff take care of all your truck and trailer needs. Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. Tell them the Cajun Conservative sent you.
Cleansed and made us whole. Not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show, the last show of 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I do have a favor to ask. I said this in the last episode. While I'm gone, and the numbers are usually they drop around this time of year. Go ahead and put on the show while you're doing dishes, or while you cooking the ham, or while you fixing the car. Put the radio on. Why you on your break? You know, I know there's some people they're taking off for Christmas. Some of my friends are taking off for 2 weeks going into the new year. So with that being said, please put on the show. Or if you have a TikTok, go check out the Cajun Conservative on TikTok. I believe I'm at 783, 784, which is weird. Okay. I was on TikTok early, and there's a video from September that has been getting views. I only had like maybe 400, 500 views on that video. Apparently it hit something happened in California where it's hitting a viral trend, I guess. And I think I'm over like 5,000 views in the last 3 days. I'm like, wow. And also got some people following. So, but that, you know, if you have a TikTok, go ahead and check out my TikTok. I put videos every so often, and I'm glad to be part. And that I'm gonna keep doing. I'm gonna keep putting TikToks out probably throughout these 2 weeks if something happens that I feel, hey, I need to put my opinion out on there. But go ahead and do that for me, and enjoy your holidays. I'm gonna talk more about that in a little bit. But let's go ahead and talk about Joe Biden. Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen, one of his motorcades were. One of his cars in the motorcade. I hope I'm saying that right. It's late when I'm doing this show, but anyway, yeah. So Biden was at an event with his campaign staff, and they were talking, and the motorcade. They go ahead and they block both entries of the intersection, so nobody gets in there and tries to hurt the president, which is very smart. And Biden was heckling with somebody asking him a question about polls, and in the background you hear, God, boom! Somebody ran the intersection and I think tried to get to the president. Look, thank goodness for the Secret Service. They went ahead and covered him down, took him off, because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care who it is. That is our leader. Now, some people might, Isaac, a leader? No, he is our leader. And we need to protect them at all costs. okay, I could disagree with him on policy, but you need to protect the president at all costs. And I think the Secret Service, if you watch the video, did very well. They put him in the car. They got him out of there. And I haven't heard anything about the guy that hit him, if it was an accident or what. But ladies and gentlemen, it was, I knew the phone was going off. And when you hear something like that, you just say, thank you, Lord, that you protected our president. And like I said, look, I don't agree with backwards Joe. I don't. I think everything he does is backwards. But he's still our president. So with that being said, though, that does lead me to the next portion of the show. And I've been hitting around with this about poll numbers. As I said in the last segment, President Donald Trump is leading President Joe Biden on an average of 4 points, according to Real Clear Politics. And what Real Clear Politics do, they take all the polls and they make an average. And Donald Trump is winning by 4 points. That is big news. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is not just winning in his normal states. He's winning in Nevada. He's winning in Arizona, according to Real Clear Politics. He's winning in Pennsylvania. All the swing states that Donald Trump lost in 2020, he is winning against Joe Biden. And, ladies and gentlemen, it is a... Ladies and gentlemen, it is a big story. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is bad news for the Biden team, and this is why Biden was at this event, because he was trying to figure out what was going on. And look, his approval rating. His approval rating is down to 34%, ladies and gentlemen. This is the worst a sitting president has gotten in a very long while. And look, a lot of people, I remember back in 2016, 2020, when the election was going on, they always brought up Donald Trump's approval numbers. And I don't even think the media never brought it down to 34%. They were trying, but it was always sitting around 36, 37%. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden got a worse approval rating than Donald Trump. If you go along with the trend, he's not going to win the next election. Why? Because usually a president that's sitting in the 30s don't get a second term. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what the Democrats are scared about. This is why, going back to the last segment, these 4 activist judges decided to try to take it upon themselves. They helped Joe Biden win. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't good. And it is good for our side, but not very good for Biden. And this, like going back to this is why Biden was at this event Sunday night when the car was hit. He was talking to his campaign staff. And Joe Biden was very frustrated and angry at his staff. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. I picked it up from Waters' report. Jesse Waters Tonight, I think it's called. But Joe Biden was very upset at his staff because of the low approval ratings. And he told his staff, according to the Wall Street Journal, that they need to get his numbers up. They need to push his accomplishments. They need to push his agenda. They need to make him look good. Because the poll numbers are down. Now, it is ironic when he was walking to his motorcade. I say cake. Cakes are like the motor vehicles that the Secret Service is driving. I can't say the word tonight. Walking to his vehicle. Remember, I said he was talking to somebody about the polls. They asked him, why are you down so much in the polls? And his smart aleck remark was, you're reading the wrong poll. You're looking at the wrong poll, but there's a problem. Even left-leaning polls that are usually favorable to Biden, he's losing. And of course, we know Joe Biden can't blame himself for the issue of low poll numbers, because it's not Joe Biden's fault, according to him. It got to be the staff. The staff is not talking about his accomplishments. The staff and the campaign people are not making the American people aware of everything that Joe Biden has done good. Now, there was a couple of other polls that were out this week. One being that 14% of Americans say they only benefit from the economy of Joe Biden. We also have 20-some% of Americans feel that the economy is going in the right direction, or the country is going in the right direction. But it isn't Joe Biden's fault. It's his campaign staff. They're not pushing his accomplishments. They're not pushing what he has done good for the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, Biden honestly believes what he has done the last 3.5 years has helped America. And it goes to a point where he's basically telling the American people, you don't see it is because you are dumb and ignorant. And ladies and gentlemen, us Americans don't like to be called dumb and ignorant. Ladies and gentlemen, us Americans don't want to be the fools. But Joe Biden is doing that. And look, this ain't the first time, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Biden, a couple of months ago, they made the comment that the American people don't realize how much Joe Biden has done for this nation. They don't realize how much he has helped the economy. And they start quoting these numbers of unemployment rates being down. When you realize, if you saw the numbers of jobs that were lost during the Trump administration due to the C-19, that's all the jobs that were lost, and they're still under what Donald Trump lost. And he talks about gasoline, how gasoline is down, and how gasoline is finally affordable for people. But ladies and gentlemen, they fluctuated the inflation, and they did something to where inflation went down, but the cost of living is still going up. The economy is bad, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I'm going to use me for example, okay? 4 years ago, I could live off of $15 an hour. I could. Now, I got a job where I'm making more money, and I'm still suffering. This should not be that way. But why is it that way? Because of President Joe Biden's policies. But it's not his fault. And apparently the staff, according to Joe Biden, is dumb as well, because they don't understand that they need to push his accomplishments. But the question is risen now, what accomplishments? And ladies and gentlemen, look, I would like, because this is going on YouTube, this is going on Rumble, this is going on social media. You know what I'm going to do? And I have the capability of doing, I'm going to put a poll number out there. Or I'm going to put a question. And I'm going to ask, what has Joe Biden done to benefit this nation? And I would like to see some of you people that are on the left, your response. What has Joe Biden done in the last 3 years that he's the president of the United States to benefit us as a nation? You know what? Let me go. You know what I'm going to hear? You know what I'm going to hear, ladies and gentlemen? Watch. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to hear from the left and everybody. That's what I'm going to hear. Crickets. Because Joe Biden hasn't done nothing for the nation. The Inflation Reduction Act that did not reduce inflation. I remember when that bill was passed, he was pushing, this will bring down inflation. This will bring down inflation. And after the dang thing passed, well, this really don't bring down inflation. Him and Joe Manchin preached that this was going to bring down inflation, and inflation went up. Yeah, but Isaac, inflation is down 3.7%. Okay, but what about the cost of living? My goodness, $50 of groceries maybe gets you a carton of milk and a bag of chips. I am exaggerating, you fact checkers. Our cost of living is up. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not getting better. And the American people see this. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I don't put my hopes on polls. I have been burnt twice with polls, and I'm planning on not doing it again. But if these polls are accurate, the American people are telling Joe Biden, we don't like your policies. And instead of Joe Biden saying, you know what, they don't like my policies, I'm going to do what the American people voted me to do and represent them. No, he wants to push windmills. He wants to push the green new energy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are sitting at $38 trillion in debt, and all you hear the president talk about is saving the planet with green energy. People see that the border is being overrun. They see the economy falling. They are living paycheck to paycheck, and the paycheck ain't paying the bills no more. People have to make a decision on food or their bills. Well, hold on. That's kind of extreme. No, it's not kind of extreme. People are suffering in this country. But all Biden can do is blame his staff and tell his staff, you're not pushing my accomplishments. Again, what accomplishments? President Joe Biden has put us so much in a hole. And ladies and gentlemen, it is not getting better. This is why Biden is losing in the polls. And this is why the Democrats are pushing to try to get Donald Trump out of office, or trying to keep Donald Trump from returning to office. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, and look, I don't care who you are. All y'all could complain about with Donald Trump was that he had a bad hair day, and he put out mean tweets. Donald Trump had his oil independent. He protected our border. We didn't fall into World War III with him. If you remember, Biden preached on in his basement. Okay, he didn't go on the campaign trail. He stayed in his basement. Donald Trump will bring us to World War III. I caught an article from the Daily Caller. The Chinese president told Biden, hey, Taiwan and China will be together. Basically telling Biden, hey, we're going after Taiwan. And you're not going to do a dang thing about it. Our fearless leader probably did. I got one word for that. We don't we speak Chinese. We don't speak Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying, the Middle East was at peace. Remember the Abraham's Accord? They had peace in the Middle East for a little while. President Donald Trump gave tax breaks. The economy was good under Donald Trump. Was Donald Trump perfect? No, he spent too much. I've already said that on this show multiple times. He was not the perfect president. But it was better than this president that we have now. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm so frustrated when you have the left. You have ignorant, left-leaning people. I think Biden's doing a good job. Biden did this, Biden did that. Biden has not done one single thing to benefit America. Not one. Now, if you want to talk about his family and other countries, yeah, he has done a lot to help them out. But President Joe Biden did not. Joe Biden did not benefit nothing. I'm just saying. President Joe Biden did not benefit America whatsoever. And ladies and gentlemen, in 2024, we need to vote him out of office. And look, if these poll numbers are true, it's not going to be he's not going to be singing at the end of the day saying, I won, yay. I don't trust the polls. If the polls are correct, it's not going to be a good day for Biden. But then to be mad at his staff, you're not pushing. No, you made bad policies. It's hard to push somebody when you don't have nothing good to talk about them. I'm just saying. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take our third and final break. We'll be back in a few moments, so please stay tuned. How you doing, everyone? Isaac Hayes here. In America, hair loss is a problem for most adults. 60% of men will have to deal with hair loss by the age of 50, and 50% of women will experience hair loss in their lifetime. Now, some people may not worry about the receding hairline, but if you are, I want to tell you about HairClub. HairClub has 40 plus years dedicated to restoring hair and rebuilding confidence. They have over 650 expert consultants and 120 locations across America to help you on your journey to stop your hair loss. If you would like to see what HairClub can do for you, go to the description of this episode and hit the link to their website and schedule an appointment with one of their consultants to get you what you need to restore your hair. Remember to use the promo code BGSmedia10 at the checkout to get 10% off the price. All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of 2023. Unless something major happens, and I got to get behind this microphone. And I say I got to get. I don't have to get. It's a choice. And look, ladies and gentlemen, started this ride in 2019. Late 2019, did some practice runs for Brothers Are Searching launch in January of 2020. In November of 2020, I started the Cajun Conservative Show. Within that year, a lot of you probably remember my testimony. The Lord had to show me a lot of things about politics before I got behind this microphone. Doing this, at least. And since 2020, God has called me into youth ministry. Well, I was in youth ministry before all this. But ladies and gentlemen, been a ride. And I have to come by. No, I don't get paid to do this. I got sponsors, like our good friends at Smith's. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to come because this is my livelihood. Now, one day I would love to be able to talk for a living. I talk pretty good. But ladies and gentlemen, if something happens, I will gladly show up and give you my opinion because that's why you listen. You want to hear what I have to say, and that humbles me the most. Why would some people want to hear me talk? I have no idea, but y'all do, and I appreciate that. But yeah, the final segment of 2023, unless something happens, and I'm excited. Thank you guys for what y'all do, and I'm probably gonna elaborate a little bit more before the end of this episode. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Pope Francis. Look, I'm not Catholic to begin with. So, some people might say, well, why are you talking about it? You're not Catholic. No, Pope Francis by far is the most left-leaning pope in my lifetime. Now, some people live through one pope. Pope John Paul was the first pope I ever remembered. And Pope John Paul he passed on. Then you had Pope Benedict. And, Pope Benedict decided, hey, he was going to retire. And Pope Benedict also has passed on since his retirement. But I think it's Francis that came after Pope Benedict. And ladies and gentlemen, this guy has been one of the most far left-leaning people that has probably ever stepped foot in the Roman Catholic Church position of Pope. And ladies and gentlemen, the Catholic Church has a firm belief that marriage is between a man and a woman. I am not Catholic, like I said, and a lot of people around my area are Catholic. I have a good friend from the state, ironically from Colorado, that is a devout Catholic, and he listens to Brothers Are Searching, and we've had him on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, I haven't reached out and asked him about this, but I could just imagine how some Catholic people are feeling today. Because Pope Francis has approved a measure that will allow Roman Catholic priests to offer blessings to same-sex couples under the condition that the blessing is not considered akin to marriage, and while still labeling such relationship as sinful. Okay, guys, you like I said, you know my story if you listen to the show long enough. I am a ordained minister. I am a youth director of a church. I teach the Bible. I am a besides being a political pundit, I am a Christian podcaster. I study the Bible a lot. And ladies and gentlemen, the Bible never tells us to bless something that is sinful. Okay? So how ironic the Pope thinks, hey, look, we're going to go ahead and accept this alternate lifestyle. And we're going to bless this unholy matrimony. We're going to bless it, even that is sinful. I don't know about you. I'm still scratching my head on that. How can you go ahead and say this is unholy, it is sinful, but we're going to bless it. Maybe God will change his mind. And the great one of Louisiana, Moon made a good point of this. I think the Pope only reads the Bible. Pope Francis reads the Bible to see how can I make God mad today? Because, ladies and gentlemen, he has taken left-leaning stance before. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is the icing on the cake for the Roman Catholic Church, a religious standpoint. And look, I don't know how you feel, if you're a Roman Catholic, how you feel about this, but I just, how do you justify that as a Roman Catholic? Because this is more of a religious question. Look, like I said, I'm not Roman Catholic. I disagree with a lot of Roman Catholicism. But ladies and gentlemen, I could, if I was talking to a Roman Catholic, I could say to a Roman Catholic, listen, we have some of the same beliefs. We believe that a man and a woman should be the only ones married, not Tom and Joe from down the road. It should be Tom and Jill. But now, apparently, the Roman Catholic Church, under their leadership, is endorsing same-sex marriage. Now, look, the Roman Catholic Church isn't the only ones pushing this. Charles Stanley's son, Andy Stanley, has affirmed lesbian and homosexual lifestyle, and we've come against him on multiple occasions. There are a lot of Christian organizations and denominations that are endorsing this lifestyle, and guess what? According to my faith and according to the Bible, it is not right. So it don't matter how many denominations come out and say, hey, this is right, that don't make it right. God says one thing, and that's it. He's the one that steers this ship. He's the one that created this boat. Hey. But ladies and gentlemen, I was surprised that the Roman Catholic Church and their leadership are even thinking of something like this. It is shameful. And it needs to, I hope Pope Francis sees the error of his ways. But we're going to have to see. And will somebody in the Catholic Church stand up and say, hey, Pope Francis, you're supposed to be Jesus Christ in the flesh, but you ain't acting like Jesus. So, we'll have to see. So the porn filming staffer, got an update on that. He was fired. Thank you, finally. And and it's funny. He was a staffer of a longtime Democrat. Senator Cornyn breaks silence after staffer allegedly fired over sex tape film in hearing room. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I understand why they say allegedly, because they ain't been there isn't he's innocent until proven guilty. And look, I didn't watch the whole thing. It was very disturbing, but I saw the clip on the Daily Caller, who broke the story, by the way, that this staffer was filming him and another person having intercourse on a desk of very high profile Senate rooms. There is no allegedly after that. You see the video, you're like, there ain't no allegedly. He did it. Now, as he said, he broke. They went ahead and fired the staffer. Senate Ben Cornyn said, "Look, I was angry. I was disappointed. When speaking about the scandal is a breach of trust." That's what the senator said. He would not name the staffer, but the staffer's name came out. But ladies and gentlemen, he only said it was a personal issue. But ladies and gentlemen, out of all people, Democrat, he was a Democrat staffer. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I remember bringing this up last week, and I did bring out some good points. On the point of, he let a film crew into the Capitol. Now, he wasn't supposed to be in that building. Staffers are not supposed to be in that building unless their employer's there. He was in there. So he broke rules. How secure is the Capitol? Okay, could we talked about January 6th earlier? That was a mob. Okay? I don't care how many locked doors you have. A mob, it would be hard to stop thousands of people running in there. But this one person brought in a film crew and a partner to film the porn scene with. Ladies and gentlemen, how secure is the Capitol? Also, it just shows how much staffers really respect our institutions of the Senate and the House of Representatives and the presidency. And ladies and gentlemen, is this just a job to them? And look, some of these staffers are possibly the next politicians. Ladies and gentlemen, and like I said, look, I'm glad they fired him. I would have been very upset if they wouldn't have done that. And ladies and gentlemen, you just have to. I'm just happy that happened. All right, let's move on to our last story, and of course, it would have to end with Hunter Biden. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, last week, Hunter Biden decided in his best interest to defy a subpoena from Congress. And ladies and gentlemen, with a lot of people were asking the question, did Joe Biden condone this? And of course, the media and the House, the White House staff, Joe Biden really loves his son. On that note, I don't care how much you love your son. He broke the law, and he broke the law previously. And ladies and gentlemen, you wonder, when is this going to end? When does Joe Biden stop telling himself, my son Hunter's a good boy? And look, they might be two peas of the same pod, because, hey, we already know that Hunter Biden paid thousands of dollars to Joe Biden, according to email and to bank records. They called him the big guy. The goalposts always kept moving back. Remember, it was, hey, I have no knowledge of Hunter Biden's business deal or any of my family's business dealings. And all of a sudden I didn't talk to nobody, and they keep moving the goalposts back. Well, a few days ago, it was reporters kind of got a shock, because Marine One shows up, and Joe Biden took some time in Delaware apparently, and guess who comes off the plane, the helicopter? Correction, Hunter Biden and his son. His young children, Bo Jr., stepped off the helicopter. Now, you might be asking me, Isaac, what's weird about that? Well, there's two things, and I'm going to touch this one. One is that this dude just defied Congress, and he is getting off the plane, a helicopter, with his father, who is the president of the United States. So you have to ask the question, hold on, if Hunter Biden is seen this soon after with Joe Biden, did his daddy condone what he did? And if his daddy condoned what he did, his daddy would have to take back everything he said about the Trump kids, or his feelings about the Trump kids, how the Trump kids had to show up to the subpoena. Also, the media would have to apologize, because it's okay for Hunter to miss a congressional hearing, but Steve Bannon and Peter Navaki, whatever his name was, they defied, and that was the worst thing since World War II. The media has to change their mind. The president endorsed it. Now, they might say, well, we don't believe what the president believes, but by your actions. So, ladies, so this happening right after is you might gotta now it also goes to a point I thought was a good analogy, a good view of this, why the Bidens are doing this, why the Bidens are walking around free, and this has come from Dan Bongino, which, like I said, I didn't think about it until he said it. Are the Bidens just looking at the American people and saying, we can get away with it? Think about it, okay? They have gotten away with so much stuff, allegedly. And them walking off of Marine One is basically telling the United States, telling the people, hey, we can get away with it. Now, also, the second point I wanted to bring out earlier that I was talking about, Hunter Biden and his son was not on the list to be on Marine One. And when Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about it, she says, well, I have to look into it before I give you an answer. And when they started pressing about, well, is this good for the president to be seen with his son after defying a congressional hearing? The first words out of her mouth was, Joe Biden loves his son. That's all I'm going to say about it. Ladies and gentlemen, you can love your children, but if they're doing, if they're committing crimes, you love him from jail. You don't say, well, I love my son. Look at him. He's staring up this and he's doing this. But I love him. I'm not going to do anything. That's a wrong kind of love. But why didn't Joe Biden put him on the list? Maybe because what happened, reporters were going to see it and they were going to start asking questions. And the White House really don't want questions to be asked, hard questions right now, because it's not looking good with the impeachment inquiry and Hunter Biden facing legal actions as well. And the White House and the country is totally upside down and inside out. See, it don't look good. Now, we also got to ask the question, where did Hunter Biden and Joe Biden go? Where did Hunter Biden, did they have a meeting at the house? And, hey, son, I want you to come over for supper. Come to Washington with me. Ladies and gentlemen, there's this, look, I don't know what's the end game of him going on Marine One, but also, like I said, the argument, and this was according to the Daily Wire, Joe Biden is using taxpayer funds to transport Hunter Biden all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, why ain't Hunter Biden using his own car? This is a grown man. Now, look, you've seen, because in the defense, you've seen Donald Trump's children at the White House, but they all showed up in their own limousine. Majority of the time, they weren't riding all the time in Air Force One and using it to go meet with millionaires and do business deals. Ladies and gentlemen, some look fishy with that. But it just the point that I want to make out again, just him riding on Marine One and him and his father just sitting there. They must think to themselves, boy, Pop, I can hear Hunter Biden and Joe Biden talk. Hunter Biden telling Joe, Pop, we got the American people suckered. And Joe Biden, yeah, we got the American people suckered. Hey, you didn't show up for a congressional hearing, and the media people, it's Hunter, Daddy. Oh, yeah, Hunter. Are the Bidens laughing at us as American people? And look, this is why I hope Republicans do their job and impeach Joe Biden. And I hope in 2024, because I know he's not going to get passed in the Senate, unless the Democrats use that as their scapegoat to get Gavin Newsom. I hope in 2024, the American people have enough sense to vote Joe Biden out of office. And look, you people that are anti-Trump, Oh, I'm not going to vote for Trump and Biden. Hold your nose, swallow your pride, and press the lever for Trump. Because I tell you, 4 years of Donald Trump will be way better than 4 years of Joe Biden. So with that being said, that's going to end this episode of The Cajun Conservative, the last episode of 2023. Reflect back on 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a lot of conversations behind this microphone with you. And another year has come and gone. And this is how I did this last year, and I really enjoyed the 2-week break because when I came back, I was firing on all cylinders. It's kind of like that old vehicle that needs to get a tune-up every so often. I need that tune-up. I need a rest. At the same time, during my break, it's going to make 10 years that I'm married. And the view of marriage today is not good. At the slightest little problem, the word divorce or separation comes into play, and we have a marriage. Only 50% of marriages last. So I'm going to be celebrating Christmas. I'm going to be celebrating New Year's Eve, New Year's, and I'm going to be celebrating my wedding anniversary, my 10th wedding anniversary. And I'm just amazed how far God has brought me. Just not on this podcast. Look, I'm 31 years old. I am an ordained minister. I'm a youth director. I'm a lot of people just can't. They just don't make one. People struggle with one podcast. I have 2 podcasts, and I got a family that loves me. I got people that support me in what I'm doing, and I just, I'm blessed. But to reflect back on 2023, like I said earlier in the show, yeah, I've been going through some trials and tribulations. It's been rough. Probably sometime when if you watch on YouTube and Rumble, you probably saw I had bags under my eyes and I was tired, but I came to do this. And ladies and gentlemen, it's because I love spending time with you and I love talking about politics. And you as the audience, I say this all the time, you are my family. And, not my immediate family, but you are you're my podcast family. And I love every single one of y'all. And I thank you for the support you have given me through 2023. And I can't say it enough. Thank you. You have made this show what it is today. You have made Brothers Are Searching what it is today. And without you, I could not do it. And I just want to thank you. And with that being said, I want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Remember why we come together. It's not just to put up lights or to put up a tree or anything like that. It is to celebrate it's for us to remember Christ's birth and to celebrate his birth. Remember, Jesus is not in a manger no more. He's the King of Kings and he's Lord of Lords, and he sits on the throne. This is why I ask you every single episode, if you want to know Jesus, your Lord and Savior, reach out to me. I'll tell you how to meet King Jesus. And this is all for his glory, not for mine. And I just can't wait to be in heaven one day. I hope I see every single one of you there. And I can't wait to be back with y'all in 2024. With that being said, remember that Jesus Christ is King. He's coming back, and he's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart. Jesus has overcome the world. So don't be scared. Don't be anxious. Because this world will pass away. But the Bible says his word will never pass away. Until next time in 2024, you have a good one. Be blessed. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.